Here's the Stinky Popcorn Boys.
We watch movies and eat popcorn. And you're stinky.
Hello. We are the Stinky Popcorn Boys, three boys talking about movies and how they made us feel. I am Patrick Basquel, and I am Shrimp Paste.
And I'm Christian Ames, and I'm back, and I'm a sweet little calm baby.
I'm John Gilardi, and I'm from the Butt Tribe.
Yeah.
Butt region.
You're an ass man.
That's my last minute title. I forgot to do that this time, once again.
No, today we're going to be talking about the latest premiere access on Disney Plus. If you got 10-year-old kids, you're probably going to watch it.
Only 10 years old, though.
Only 10-year-old kids. 10-year-olds and younger and older. Like a lot of people in between probably watch this movie. People turn it into stone. It's Raya. Raya?
Raya?
Raya.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
I already forgot. I literally just watched the movie.
And the Last Dragon.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
AKA, God, I said AKA weird. AKA Avatar The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
A lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
That should have been my intro. Should have been an Avatar tie-in.
Yeah, you really fucked it up, dude. That's like your whole jam.
I know.
Well,
yeah,
could just be Eastern culture inspiration.
Well, but the whole like thing with like the separate tribes, and again, I still haven't seen Avatar, but like the separate tribes where they all have their like unique way, like
separate tribes, and then there's
Yeah.
a gang of friends that come together, and each member is from each tribe.
Yeah.
As they go along.
Even the intro you said is similar to the intro.
The way
of
they're doing the intro is like, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Like it built up for that line because at the beginning of Avatar: The Last Airbender, there's always a monologue of 3 or 4 nations lived in harmony and all was great until the Fire Nation attacked, and then it just goes dark. And it was literally the opening narration expositional sequence. It just built up for that moment. Like it lingered too. I think it was almost self-aware. And then they attack. I don't know.
Do you think that it is self-aware, where it's like they're like calling reference to it?
Maybe, because I don't.
Disney
I don't
own Avatar?
Because I don't know if this like overall trope is like a Eastern Asian thing, you know? Because I mean, this is an American-made thing based on East Asia, and so is Avatar.
Yeah.
So they're both American-made things. So I don't even know if that's a thing, or it's just coincidence, or they just went for it. Also, Avatar became huge a year ago, and this was in production for years and years before. Avatar's always been big, but the big resurgence was only within a year ago, when this was definitely well within production too. So it's just kind of a good timing almost, you know, in terms of that familiarity.
Yeah, why did Avatar blow up so big in the U.S. recently?
Netflix and pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
People rediscovering it, also like doing it to try and like fight stuff. It's funny because I was just looking.
What stuff are people fighting?
No, sorry, I was just I was looking up something because I wanted to reference it because throughout China's history, and again, I am not like a scholar, but I like only sort of know.
It's all the dynasties.
Yeah, all their dynasties, but also they went through multiple periods of time for like hundreds and hundreds of years where they were split into different nations, essentially.
Yeah.
Kind of very much sort of mimicking either this or because I think this is like Southeast Asian. Yeah. But I wonder because I was just like as we were talking about it, I was like, wait a second, because I remember looking at something like that as like I went down to like a Wikipedia rabbit hole as you sometimes do.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second, yeah. I was like, this is kind of similar to something that I read about a period of history that was real.
Yeah. Well, what synopsize this?
Yeah.
Who wants to take the stab? Christian, you go. Throw you in the
God,
cold.
here we go. So
Elevator
we live in a
pitch.
world where dragons exist or used to exist, but have
Boom.
since gone extinct because there's this creepy, dark, purple-looking plague
The
that
Duran
has seeped
Duran.
into what's it called?
Duran
Duran. Yes,
Yeah.
Duran Duran's
It's like
music.
Droon.
is-
A Droon.
Droon. The Droon, which is essentially what is it? The manifestation of like humans' evil, that is
Or they're
set
like mistrust or something.
Yeah, mistrust. That's a big trust and stuff is a big, and allegiance is a big like theme in this. So the Droon, the dark purple energy, has taken has destroyed the dragons, because I guess dragons were a source of good for humanity. The what are they called? The Arandan,
what they want to be.
What they want to be. The word for unison or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kumandran.
Kumandran.
Yeah.
Kumandra.
Something similar to that.
That's basically, we're all together, but they're not that. So this purple stuff is coming in. The humans can't get along. They break this gem that is the representation of unification, and they smash it, and then the purple Duran comes back out, and it's up to this one spirited young girl, Raya, to find the last dragon and bring balance to the Force once
Basically.
again.
It's a pretty simple quest setup, but I like it.
Yeah.
Because I like movies that you can quantify where you are along the quest.
Yeah.
Particularly children's animation movie. It's not because I don't like them, but I think it helps them move along.
Yeah.
And it gives them some pacing.
Well, and there's also never any there's never any obstacles that are outside of where they need to go.
Yeah,
so it's
very focused.
Oh, we're a tail, and then we need to go to belly. Oh man, spine. Spine is one of them.
Spine is the top.
I guess
belly.
I don't know if we clarified for people who haven't seen it or aren't going to watch it. The map of this country it's around a lake that looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
And then their countries or nations or whatever are named after what part they are. So if you're at the head, you're fang, then there's spine, and we've got butthole,
tail.
Know,
Man, I didn't even. I was like, yeah, that looks like a dragon. Got it. But then it didn't even connect with me that they are connected to where they are. Like, I guess it made, like, yes, but it didn't click for me. It was like, oh, that's right. That's where they are located.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to that, the world building is fun and simple, and again, it's all done in the exposition. It's very much like Avatar, which is what I like about it. I love simple but fun and creative world building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Game of Thrones, you can say. I mean, it's a very complicated example. So I think that's why stuff like this is super refreshing to those kind of lore nerds or just people who love other worlds and thinking about other ways things work, different land and biomes and cultures, and how they're mixed and fused with other cultures. Like the spine is kind of like there's some Viking motifs in there. Stuff like that. Another thing that is also very similar to Avatar is the mixed animals. That is straight up an Avatar thing, which could be a Southeast Asian or overall Asian trope. I'm not sure. Again, we're talking about Southeast Asia with this film, and Avatar is very China focused, but that's in both of them, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I love the aesthetic of the dragons in this. In this day and age, it's very hard to come up with an original dragon concept. And the dragons in this are very Chinese
wispy.
Inspired. Yeah, because in the original like Southeast Asian ancient like paintings of dragons, they're very snake-like as opposed to having wings, which they're very inspired by that in this, which was cool to see a new kind of dragon. You know.
I also really liked that they weren't like a automatic win. Like they got Sisu back.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Obviously, you're listening to this. You're either not going to watch the movie, or you have already watched the movie, hopefully, because nobody's come to burn us down yet.
Spoiler alert, there are dragons.
Yeah, there's dragons. But so when they get Sisu back, like she's like, hell yeah, I'm Sisu, I'm a dragon. They're like, wow, you're a dragon. And she doesn't like automatically like win. Like it's not like...
There's some sacrifice, and I think the sacrifice is because the humans weren't unified, or there's something going on because those dragons all trusted each other, and they sacrificed everything and trusted in Sisu and each other, and then the humans ultimately didn't.
Yeah, I just thought it was cool that I'm gonna cough again. I feel it in my body. Sounds terrible. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right.
But that she wasn't that's like, because a lot of times in Dragon, like you think of Dragon and it's like World Ender. It's like, oh yeah, but they were just kind of like, hey, I'm a magic. I'm like the personification of my kind of magic a little bit.
Yeah, I like how they were. they were kind of deified.
Mhm.
Is that even the right form?
Deified is a word.
Um,
It might be the right word, but
Yeah.
maybe
you know what I meant.
They're holy,
I got you.
They're made holy in the image of the human eye.
But they're
Thanks,
also
dictionary.
obviously, besides the fact that they've been extinct for 500 years, just the kind of the coexistence you got that they had beforehand, and then now when things are better is pretty cool. It's a super unique take on dragons and magic and mystical beasts. And
At least unique over here,
yeah, that's true.
because I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about that to say that it is wholly unique,
Yeah,
but definitely one that we haven't seen over.
I mean,
here.
the rain walking was really cool.
Yeah.
just as a particular
yeah.
thing.
So I guess all the dragons, they do really well in water since they don't really have wings. They just kind of swim
Which should
around.
explain their long kind of nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
form.
eel-like. So when it's raining, they can basically hop on the raindrops and essentially fly, which was a cool little dragon mechanic.
Yeah.
Dragon mechanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. I didn't like the moments that they did like the modern language,
Oh yeah, like
where
can't
like
think
the
of it.
group project thing,
yeah,
which
yeah.
just I didn't dislike it, and I'm being picky. I know that I'm being picky. I'm aware of that,
No, I think it takes you out of it a little bit.
but it did. I mean,
does How to Train Your Dragon? They do that, but they're way more self-aware, and
yeah.
there's a lot more allusions to modern culture in that. And I'm not just pulling it in because it's a dragon thing. Just I'm trying to think of a DreamWorks.
Well, and I would
modern DreamWorks.
I would
kinda
say
thing.
too, like connecting up with like Aladdin, like you had Robin Williams going all over the place making references, but he didn't necessarily like he was a genie and it made sense, and he made enough of them. I think because there were so few of them.
Yeah.
Like whenever like in this moment here, where again we have it watching in the background, but whenever she goes and talks to the other little girl and she's like, "Oh, I'm the one who's the dragon fan or whatever.
I'm a nerd, dragon nerd.
I'm a dragon nerd." That was also like,
It takes you out a little bit.
I don't know about that.
I don't think it owns it enough, and I think the whole, at least for me, and maybe probably anyone who's watched Avatar, is they make a point of setting the world and building up this world of complicated relations between tribes and people and all this, and it's very seeped in a fantastical world that they're trying to build.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and you get taken out of it when they do just a little thing like that here or there, and it's weird. I guess like the world isn't established soon enough, and you could argue that when the girls are talking and becoming friends, that maybe it's establishing the tone of the movie in this world, but I don't think it does a good job of it. So then it just never really settles itself, and the kind of modern speech and jokes or references about a group project or whatever.
I don't think they do it enough.
Yeah.
You know, they sort of like establish it and then they just like never continue it on.
And I don't think it needed it because I don't know. I'm like any other Disney movie that goes full into its setting. The modern jokes are, I don't know, maybe because the jokes
They're more like winks, whereas like this was like it felt more direct. Like, hey, we're gonna fucking relate to you.
Yeah.
We're relating to you
Well, I was
now.
gonna drop the not millennial, I guess anymore, but the general's Gen Z. Like it was appeasing to like children
Yeah.
Yeah,
who don't
like
care,
when the girl
or they're just
throws-
like, haha, I know what that means.
when the girl
But also
throws
the
her
group
spear.
project thing is maybe more of an older, something older people relate to right now.
I still don't. It still doesn't jive with me. Like it's not great. We were
No.
saying about when the girl throws her spear.
Yeah, she throws her spear and goes, "Yo, I'm tilted. Yeet. What's up, fam? That had me weak, bro." I'm just trying to think of all the things kids say these
There's
days.
another one where she was like, "Oh yeah, princess undercut." I was like, weird.
Yeah, mean,
I was
that would've-
like, huh. I don't know if that's bad necessarily, but
it could have been fine.
weird.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that. I did think about that when they were talking about being dragon nerds. I was like, that's weird that they used the word nerd. Like, so
Yeah.
it did. I like, it did kind of take me
From
out
one
a little
dragon
bit,
nerd
too.
to, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm the one who's a dragon fan or whatever," and it's like,
Yeah, like dragon fan would have been a little better. Than
yeah,
dragon
but
nerd.
still, even that
Yeah.
to me felt like
Enthusiast,
Yeah.
obsessed, whatever.
it didn't feel like it was genuine to this really cool place that they had built.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the things that kind of talking what you were saying, John, is like it does feel sort of how, what was that? Oh, like the Scorpion King, where it's just like it exists within itself, and we don't need to get a sense of the larger world because it just exists there.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is the only place that matters, and I'm not bothered at all by it. Like, it's like, I'm like, cool, great. This is it. This is the world.
So you're taken out of the fantasy world when it relates to our world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and I also think it's unnecessary because I just think
it's so good at everything else with its world building and tone.
It reminded me of Skyrim a little bit, just in terms of like the different biomes that felt different enough, but were still part of the one cohesive world.
Yeah, it felt very video game open world.
Yeah. Which was very cool. Which place would you guys live if you got to choose one?
Oh, wow.
I mean, Fang looked the most temperate and I guess Heart. I'd say Heart.
Yeah, Heart's pretty beautiful. Very luscious.
Heart's pretty chill. I'd probably live in what's the water one?
Yeah, that
Talon.
water town with
Talon.
the thieves. Yeah.
I'd be doing that. That'd be my jam.
I love the Con Baby.
I love the
Con Baby's great.
Con Baby's really fun.
Yeah. And the Omji monkeys or something.
I also really liked the
Boone.
the leader.
Oh.
The leader of the Talon, that old lady.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, she was mean and was sassy, but like I also was like she's giving it to him.
Yeah.
Well,
that was like the beginning of them really hammering home the trust motif.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'll just go out and say was too much.
Yeah.
I think obviously, this is a movie ultimately for children and families, and morals and lessons naturally are part of these movies, and they've been a part of every single movie, in the past, But this one, there's no doubt that it has a message.
Yeah.
And it hits it hard. Trust. You got to trust.
Trust is for idiots, kids. One thing you're going to learn as you get older, don't trust anybody but yourself. That would have been a better moral if they had that in the movie.
Or just like being honest or something. I don't
know.
Like that's
honest.
one that's like, be honest, because then you promote honesty in other people. All the 10-year-olds who watch this movie, again, just 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
All the 10-year-olds who watch this movie and listen to us, be honest. Don't trust people. Don't trust anyone, but be honest.
Instead of at the end, spoiler alert, instead of her trusting the bad chick should have given her a reason to trust her, and then maybe she gets a second chance.
Yeah, because
to trust.
I think trusting people and you trusting in others, hopefully that reciprocates good and selfless behavior.
See, but
that's not how it is, and
because it's more like
if you leave your car unlocked because you just trust people, your shit's gonna get stolen.
I can
vouch
for that.
Yeah. So, I think it's good, and it's good for siblings and friends and close family and whatnot, but maybe your enemies or the stranger, maybe you shouldn't trust them.
Yeah.
And that's also a weird contrast to stranger danger and ice cream truck van things,
Yeah.
what is it actually trying to say?
There's a weird weird balance with that where it's like, you got to trust people. I don't know. This is a bigger thing. We can just talk about this movie for a second though, cuz it kind of what we're talking about could lead to a bigger thing about trust and morality, and this is good. We could go there. But also I want to talk about how the whole trust thing sort of causes it to fall apart at the end. That's one of the things to me that it kind of doubles down in on itself. Because I like the sacrifice play that
Raya makes, and then
all
of them.
Yeah,
I thought I liked that a lot.
I like that, but the how we got there was whenever she's doing the oh my god, Namiri.
Yeah.
When Namiri comes to see them, and she's got the crossbow on Sisu, I don't know what Raya did, why Raya react, it just was oh, we need to get this dragon out of the way so that then the world can fall apart. It felt like...
Yeah, my big complaint there then was there was no... Yes, Raya ended up redeeming herself and trusting in Namiri. And
there was a cool fight scene, don't get me wrong.
That too. But she learned her lesson pretty quickly, and she ended up taking that lesson and applying it in the sacrificial move.
Mm-hmm.
But she still fucked up big, and Sisu should still be like, bro,
Hey, you fucked up big, bro.
bro, that still sucked. I got shot.
I got shot and I straight up died.
Yeah, like
So was it
I came
Raya's
back.
fault?
Why did I come back? I could have just.
I think it was Raya's fault because if Raya doesn't,
I think it was her fault. She kind of freaked out.
for no
Namari
reason.
looked like she was already gonna pull the trigger. So I don't know. I
Well,
guess it was Raya's fault.
But see, the thing is, well, because I hear you, but it was also like Sisu looks at Raya in the face and is like, "Hey, I got this. Trust me, okay?"
So she
And
doesn't
that's-
trust her to fix the situation.
Yeah.
It's kind of maybe the breach of trust, which
Oh,
then gives Sisu more reason to be fucking pissed.
Because then she never lets Namari make her own decision.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing is she's trying to be the hero. She's trying to Harry Potter the situation
Yeah.
and like be the hero. And in doing that, she forces Namiri's hand. And it's like, let her, like, Sisu is like, hey, back off. I'm a fucking god dragon. I got this.
Yeah.
And is like, let her make her own decision.
Yeah.
You know? And that to me, and again, I know she like comes back and figures it out. But I guess also logistical question is like, how did Namiri get back? How did she get back to her throne room? Why did we get that shot of the person in stone at the center of the thing?
That was her mom.
Was it her mom?
Yeah.
Why was she up at the? I didn't.
That's just where
It-
she got attacked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and she didn't have the gem anymore, did she? Because Namari had it. So that's why she
So I guess that was her. Like maybe that was fuel to her fire. Like fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
And that's what fueled the fight between her and Raya right there in that
I mean,
throne room.
yeah, it was just always gonna be a cool ass fight in a
Yeah.
throne room while stuff was going on.
That
Yeah,
was a cool
I will
shot.
say the fighting is really cool in this movie. The good action. I think Raya's like kind of silhouette and profiles are pretty badass with the cloak and the hat and the sword.
I
Yeah.
love the chain sword.
Yeah.
I said this when we watched it, but I used to play this Game Boy game, Castlevania, and my favorite weapon in that game
Oh my god, that was a game.
chain sword. Yeah, Castlevania is a game.
Huh.
It's a huge game. I think it was a game series before it was a show or anything.
Yeah.
But my favorite weapon in that game was a chain sword. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, there's chain swords in other media. That's sick. I love that.
This movie
thing.
just steals from other things. Another Avatar thing I noticed, and this was super subconscious and I just remembered it. So Aang, or Ong, depending on which
Yeah.
cinematic universe you come
Oh,
from.
yeah.
The
The Last Airbender.
what's his name? The director. The really bad
M.
movie.
Night
M. Night
Shyamalan.
Shyamalan.
Yeah, if you're from the M. Night Shyamalan
It's
epic
Ong?
universe, he calls him Ong.
And that he calls him.
He calls
Oh.
there's also yin and yang, and he goes yin and yang. And then we're, come on, it's yin and yang. It's weird. Anyways,
Huh.
so Aang he's an airbender, so he makes this little like cloud airball, and he sits on it and he floats around, and it looks exactly like when Nuck or whatever his name
Tuk
is, Tuk, whenever he's balled up and she's sitting on him and she's moving around.
Yeah,
It looks just like Aang on his cloud ball.
which is a tuk is
Also, Nuck is a character that a character from Korra plays.
Oh wow.
So then there's a Tuk. I mean, I think
Damn. So there's a lot of.
Also-
that's just a coincidence right there. But the
It might not be a
the mount
coincidence.
thing is definitely like they're pulling from some stuff.
Well, tuk is like a human carriage essentially.
Okay.
They're like the little carriages. That's
Yeah,
I,
so I
when
think
I was
that-
in Thailand, it's like a little bike or a little person
Okay.
carry like is like
That's cool.
puts you in and
Oh,
runs.
so
So I think that's just a coincidence. But the transportation thing is definitely like, huh?
I don't know. These people do a lot of research. I don't know how much coincidence like
Could be
connecting
one
up
thing
with a
if they're-
big property.
Yeah.
You know.
Avatar is broadly Chinese, but they do pull from everything, including like Native American or Inuit. So maybe they just pulled from everything. And a lot of the similarities they pulled from are Southeast Asian tropes and stuff. I don't know. If you happen to have any insight, I'd like to know, and
I would
please
too.
comment.
I would too. I mean, as we've like watched more and more like sort of like Eastern mythology and like we talked about Egypt a bunch, it's like and that's one of the things that I sort of I guess resent or regret is like not getting more other places mythology, because we get a lot of Greek, we get a lot of like Norse,
Yeah.
and that's good too. I like it, you know.
I think that's the beauty of what Disney is tapping into, and they kind of done this historically, at least for the last 30 years. They at least give us a taste of it. It's obviously a very Americanized, very Disney-atized thing. But you had Moana,
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of learning about that mythology. And this isn't super good at communicating if this is Southeast Asian or Malaysian or Filipino or anywhere. If this is from their folktale, or what is this based off of? Like Moana isn't super or it doesn't address that, but you know it's coming from their culture and their stories and their folklore. This, I don't know, because maybe it's the Avatar vibes, and it's just making me think it's a fantasy world that's adjacent or inspired by these cultures, or is this a folklore tale or folktale from those places? I don't know.
But I guess is it their job to do that?
Maybe if they're kind of like appropriating it.
Or is it our job to research it because we like it or something like that?
I mean, I think it's still up to us, but
I think if they do their job right, it makes you want.
We aren't the ones making money off of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I was very pleased that they didn't have Sisu be like an incompetent thing.
Yeah, like she was a goofball, but she was never annoying.
Yeah,
like just totally charming and not annoying.
Thanks, Awkwafina.
Yes,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Very funny.
Yeah, I dig her.
She's great. Side note: if you haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians, great movie.
Very good, very fun.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. So
it's very fun. I think it's really interesting because it's very complex.
Yeah,
it's a lot more complex than you would think it would be.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
Like you can almost like the villain, as it were, in that movie is like you're like, oh, I get it. Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I guess
it's like Thanos.
Maybe a little bit.
I'm more just making fun of was it the joke? Like,
he's got a point.
Thanos is the good guy, dude.
Think
Every
about
chat
it.
in America. Yeah.
He's good. Well, every person who finally, now that the Joker was like out of vogue, they're like, actually, maybe Thanos. Maybe this is how I can relate to a sociopath to get people to talk to me at a party.
Yeah. Well, so Sisu gets different powers from when she touches the gem. She gets powers from her siblings. They each have different dragon powers, and one of them is shape-shifting, and she's able to switch to a human, and it's literally just like CG Awkwafina with blue hair, which I thought was pretty funny.
I liked it.
Because Raya is not, is it Kelly
Marie Tran?
Marie Tran, yeah. But she did great, and I'm really happy that she got this role, and this kind of redemption. She didn't even need the redemption, but it was for her, I guess. You know, I think she needed that.
For those of you who don't know, she played Rose in The Last Jedi.
Well, she also played it in Rise of Skywalker.
And Rise of
Skywalker.
All
of 46 seconds, I think, of screen time. Listen, we don't need to get back.
Like, I'm not going to get in that rabbit hole, but can you just imagine how confused kids are going to be or people are going to be when they watch that trilogy alone in 40 years?
I don't
it's a...
we don't need to get back into that because it's a fucking mess.
But she did great in this.
She did. And I was also just going to say, I was like, I'm really glad that she got the opportunity to have that, like, not be the last thing that she did with Disney. And also now, like, the people who do, like, these voices, they get paid forever.
Yeah.
You know? Like, outside of anything, it's like getting, like, the being the voice of one of these princesses or one of the characters here, you get paid forever because this is always going to be, it's like essentially, because it's for kids, so it's always going to be playing. It's always going to be doing that, like, there's going to be little things. There's going to be a video game where she's Raya. There's going to be a amusement park ride where she does the voice. I mean,
now this would be a fun to see adapted into a ride at Disney.
And you ride the dragon.
Yeah,
and it's a water, ride. Yeah,
just because it's such a cool universe and the just the lushness of it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you'd have to pick a biome or multiple biomes. I don't know.
I think you'd go multiple biomes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of like any of the Disney cues and the sense they infuse in there and the sound effects, the running water.
I think it'd be cool if somehow
the lights. I'm just thinking of the Avatar land with the fluorescent stuff.
I think it'd be cool if somehow, so we're talking about the ride is like...
The ride that doesn't exist.
The ride that doesn't exist. We're designing the ride. Disney come pay us for this ride.
Make us Imagineers.
But so you start, like, if there was a way that you could change vehicles, but, like, not be in your seat. So, like, if
like
you were on...
Rise of the Resistance?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Oh. That's a ride with like 4 or 5 different sections, and you're switching the ride as it's cool.
Okay, so then yes, exactly. The thing already exists where you're like on Tuk Tuk for the beginning, and then you're on the boat and you do like a waterfall thing, and then you're on the dragon, and then something else.
Yeah.
You know, because that would be how I would think to do it.
Just do it.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm gonna go ahead and build this, guys. I don't like in the beginning whenever the dad could have jumped in the water. Basically, is what I was getting to. Is like the dad could have just jumped in the water with her.
I think he knew he was an anchor in liability.
He knew that he was a narrative anchor for her. So
narrative anchor.
So she could do it.
No, but I think his wound was just enough.
He would have drowned.
No, not even that. Just like he would have slowed her. Like I think he knew his wound was maybe fatal with an artery or something. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna gamble on her to figure it out, and I'm gonna take this chance to be frozen in stone to.
I always wondered what this would be like.
Cauterize my wound, so to speak.
Okay.
I don't know. That's kind of how I took it.
Okay. I don't buy it, but I just think because he's got a leg wound. It doesn't matter. Again, it's a children's thing, and it's more interesting if she gets and saves her dad. How do chainswords work?
I'm thinking there's a button. I was just thinking about that because I'm imagining myself swinging it around and pressing the button mid-swing so you can make it go out and then letting go so it pulls back in. I'm just thinking about the mechanics of the chainsword, and I love it.
So the tension, it's got to be loosened up but then tightened.
Yeah. Then you don't want to.
But we're also talking about a sword that can stretch out to at least 10 meters, 10, 15 meters. So that has to constrict the whatever the band is.
And it's got to be elastic of some sort or some sort of stretchy thing.
Or some kind of chain. I don't know.
In order to stretch, I'd have to.
Because I just wanted to know because it's cool as shit.
I mean, I think the real answer is you have a sword with a really long hilt and there's some kind of tensioning and you let that go. You following?
Yeah.
So like the tension, so say you have a sword and the hilt's really long.
Like a fly fishing thing, kind of?
Maybe. And then so maybe there's an end cap at the bottom of the hilt and that's when it's sturdy. And then you undo it or unhinge it and then the tension's gone and the sword loses it kind of becomes floppy. And then when you want to tighten it up, you reset. You yank it and set it on the hilt, and it would require a really long sword handle, which would actually look kind of cool, and actually give you more leverage on the swinging of it.
Huh?
That's how I would do it.
We should try to make one.
Okay, you guys make the sword. I'll make the
Disney
amusement.
ride.
I'll make the amusement thing. Yeah, I'll make the Disney ride. You guys make the sword, and you guys are the one who catch the felony charge for accidentally killing somebody with it.
Seems fair.
and I'll.
You need to pay all the liability insurance and all that.
Yeah. I make it for mices first. For meese.
Mices.
For meese.
Meese. The only thing I found on a chainsword was apparently there's something in Warhammer that's a chainsword. That's not very helpful.
I just saw you Googled chainswords, and of course 4chan came up.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of like incels on 4chan.
Hello, I'm gonna make a chainsword. Go. Ugh.
That's hilarious.
So is there a difference between Disney and Pixar?
Yeah, Disney Animation is Disney.
Okay. So this is Disney.
Yeah. And then Pixar is Pixar.
Because it has that
company
same...
that was helped funded and John Lasseter and Steve Jobs and all that.
Yeah.
They're separate.
I thought Pixar was owned by Disney.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm sure they're owned by them now.
Okay.
But they were a startup and there's collaborations between Disney and them, I think, and funding and Steve Jobs. I don't know.
I guess what I'm asking now is because this has like this seems very Pixar-y as far as like the animation style. I know that they change with their. Well,
to me, it feels more like Frozen and Tangled. Like I think this is Disney finding their tone and craft, like getting better at this, the 3D animation, which they always weren't good at. And there's some really bad Disney, like I think there's like some barn animal, farm animal Disney movie that's like one of their first animations, and it's trash. It'd actually be pretty interesting to watch how far they've come.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It's like Barnyard or Barnstormers. I
It
don't know.
might have been Barnyard or something.
Yeah, but like I think they're finally finding it. There's like this whole big kind of, I don't know if controversy, but like when Princess and the Frog was the last 2D, and it's like Disney Animation's going all in on 3D animation.
Yeah.
And I think any of the cult unfollowing of people who are upset about that, I think are starting to kind of be like, all right, they got to figure it out. It still sucks that we don't get the 2D animation, but
Yeah.
this is good. They're figuring it out.
And it looks amazing.
Yeah.
It does look really fucking cool.
I loved Boone. We got Boone on the screen right now, which is the little kid who's got the boat, and just the
sole survivor.
rapidity of his animation, like the snappiness of his animation. Same with Con Baby. I love.
Well, yeah, he has such suave and swagger and just snappy like confidence, I guess. I don't know. It's funny to see in a young boy. Then you have Con Baby, who's this little infantile girl, like does the little baby waddle with a full like that big kind of, I don't know how babies waddle, but running full speed with like stealing shit from people.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
But she definitely moves like a baby would, though.
Yeah, you get a lot of personality just from the way they move.
And the fact that she's called Con Baby.
Yeah.
It's also the same story thing as introduction as in Scorpion King, where the street kid steals his money. He catches the kid and like, you want to earn this? Same thing happens in this. Con Baby and the monkeys steal the gems, and then she's like, "Do you want?" She catches them, and she's like, "Now, do you actually want to earn something?"
So Raya ripped off Scorpion King.
Yes, it actually.
That checks out.
They've been watching what I've been watching.
Yeah.
And
and they were like, "Oh, we got to put this Con Baby in here real fast."
Yeah.
And I mean, it even checks out too with like the different biomes and like the way that the world is like self-contained within everything. Wow. This is just a rip-off of Scorpion King, dude.
Yeah. In the end, that's what you guys should take away from this.
Yeah. Raya, the Last Dragon, ripped off from Scorpion King. Just watch a Scorpion King. You'll
Also,
totally
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Raya and the Last Dragon.
Wow.
It stacks up.
Wow, Disney Studios.
I kept thinking about what the dragon smelled like. That was just one thing I was wondering.
Like cotton candy mixed with a dog.
Yeah, something like...
Or pixie sticks, like sugar candy mixed with dog.
See, here's a moment that, as we're watching it, that I was confused about, is because in the cavern thing, she's talking to Namiri, and she's like, "Hey, I got this fucking dragon here. She looks like a human right now, but she's a dragon." And then later, she's like, "No, we don't want people to know that you're a dragon." And maybe I misread that scene in the cavern wrong.
No, I think you're right. I think it's odd, but I think
it felt...
she maybe wagered. She won't believe me. Maybe I can just tell the truth, but it comes across as a lie. It's distracting, blah, blah, blah. And then I can set the trap with the trap. Like that was set up for the gem that she made safe. Maybe it's just a mean of buying time and a funny gag because it's like, but she is a dragon, so it's funny. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm thinking about it as like it definitely hits the trust thing, just real hard and pretty constantly. You know, whereas I feel like in other movies,
well, I think like they set up the trust stuff pretty like they're just telling a story. And if you think back on it or you look at it closer, you know, you're subconsciously interpreting the trust, but you're not like being spoon-fed it. And I think at the beginning...
I feel like we're being spoon-fed it.
I mean, you are to the extent that children have to also interpret and understand it. But I think how it ends up going in the later half of the film is literally saying, trust this, trust that, you need to trust, blah, blah, blah. Here's an example of no trust. And so... I think at the beginning it builds up that like, you know, her just being honest.
Yeah.
At first, it's just like an interesting kind of juxtaposition to the rest of the film, or the kind of whole distrust between each other.
It's an interesting parallel with today's world too, with the lack of trust that we all have.
Yeah, I think it was made. Like, I think it's a universal and evergreen kind of moral lesson or whatever, but I do think there's a lot that was inspired by the polarity. Yeah, I guess I'm saying it right, of things today.
Polarity.
You know, with not government, with politics, where people fall in their views and stuff. And I think
fraudulent elections, QAnon.
Not
We're all big fans of QAnon
That's
on this
us here.
podcast. We're
not that kind of
I'm
politics.
actually Q.
I just mean the general distrust between people
Actually,
with different
Christian
views. And,
is Q. That's where.
yeah.
But yeah, I guess that it's a good message to have. Even though trust is for idiots. Remember that, kids. Don't trust anybody. But it's a nice sentiment.
Well, I think it's good if it's in regards to family and friends and your close circle.
Not babies that you meet at a market.
Mending old friendships, or maybe trying to reinterpret or re-understand past misunderstandings. That kind of trust and rebuilding.
Yeah.
Which it does do, but it's painting it as a worldview thing also, which is confusing.
Well, there's also a difference between trust and letting yourself be taken advantage of. Because like
which this doesn't distinguish.
Yeah, because it's like, you trust people that have given you again, it starts with being honest. It starts with being honest, and if you're honest with your intentions, then people will hopefully have their honest intentions to you, and then you can both work in like trust. Like you can both. Your relationship or however you build can both be in trust. But if you say one thing, like if you're like, you're definitely going to get this job. You're definitely going to get this job. You're a great guy. I can't wait to work with you. And then they ghost you or they disappear. It's like, well, that trust is broken.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, now I won't trust you ever because you've broken that trust with me. And I don't think that you trust me. And it's like you've already sort of like which sullied that like sort of like building blocks.
So I think to that example, I think what the film, the movie, whatever, should have explored more in depth is, when do you draw the line? Like when do you come out of that vicious cycle or circle of distrust, and it doesn't, and the solution is just to trust someone.
It would have been,
but then I don't know.
Would have been lit if Namari had given her piece of the stone up and turned herself, or her piece of the gem up, trusting them. Would have been, because she was the one nobody trusted.
Yeah.
So maybe that if they had switched roles rather than Raya stepping into the purple stuff.
I think it wasn't set up for either to be good. Honestly.
Yeah. Well, because it's like that's like. They get there, but they force that hand. I think that it would have been more interesting if Namiri was like, when she had the crossbow, if she put the crossbow down, hold on, I'm going to paint this picture.
Here we go.
So she's got the crossbow. She
talking
puts
about the standoff.
The standoff there where that happens. She puts the crossbow down, and then she gives Sisu the other piece of the gem. And is like, I fucking love you. You're the best. I've always wanted to be around you. And Sisu's like, thank you so much. I'm going to put this together. And like, so Sisu like turns her back on Namiri, and Namiri like reaches her hand out or reaches for something. And that's when Raya does something that causes some like, and it's like, it turns out that Namiri just wanted to fucking like give her a letter that she wrote her when she was a kid, or like, be like, hey, could you spit on this necklace I have?
Or maybe
maybe
Raya lost that trinket earlier in the movie, and Amari grabbed it, and then later on she's like, that's what she was trying to present.
So it's like, it's trying to be one thing, and because Raya doesn't trust, she interprets it as a different thing.
Yeah.
And then Raya is the one who has to come to grips with it or something, not that I dislike it having to be Namiri. I'm just saying it's like, if like where you draw the line where you have to trust, because that's the thing is like when you trust somebody, you're opening yourself up to getting stabbed in the back. you know. But it's like the person who does that consistently, they more often than not will get the opportunity to either continue to trust or be put in a position where they see the best in people. And I think that's one of the things that's like the message of it, seeing the best in people.
Yeah, maybe I think that would have been a better theme.
Well, I'm a better writer than them, so.
No, but yeah. But I do think that's in there. And I think
No, it's absolutely in there.
And I just, they literally say the word trust so much.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the whole theme, was see the good in people. But they just name drop trust and simple trust allegories all over the place. And
yeah.
I don't know.
It's one of those things where it's like it puts so much trust icing on this cake that I wasn't able to see the full flavor of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just too much sugar, and then you get a headache from all the sugar.
Yeah, well, that's like I was.
And then you're a little dehydrated.
There's too much trust chilies.
Because hey, too much trust is a bad thing. It actually reminds me of what is inside Pandora's box. You guys know what's in Pandora's box? It's something really, really bad.
It's everything bad.
Do you know what it is though?
Isn't it?
It's hope.
Yeah.
Which sounds like trust. It sounds like a positive word, but it's hope in that it is like fraudulent. You know, it's a fraudulent, faulty. It's something you can't really depend on, or that isn't really going to help you.
That's not the only thing that's in Pandora's box, but yes,
but it's like one of the. It's
that's
like
the last thing that comes out.
Yeah, which is like, because it's weird because the word itself has a positive connotation, but when you think about it in certain contexts, it's like, oh, that can be a bad thing. You know, like trust.
I did like how they changed their diaper in the middle of it.
Yeah, well,
I wasn't trying to get it. Like they literally just changed their diaper. We're watching it again on the screen.
I love Calm Baby,
and they.
Well, yeah, because she throws her poopy diaper at her, and then you see the baby's butt. I'm like, oh wow, okay,
yeah,
baby butt, and then they covered it up right away. But it was just, I don't know.
Well, I just want to.
I was just surprised to see them. They go with a butt gag, I guess, in a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Well, in this day and age, that's refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying a baby's butt is refreshing to see, but
that a butt gag,
a butt gag
isn't like.
Butts are always funny though.
Yeah. Butts are hilarious.
And there's fart gags. I like the fart gag in this.
Farts.
It goes
funny.
like literally just classic like fart noises with the butt bugs.
Yeah.
And it was childish, but it was funny, and it was just understated enough.
Yeah.
Where it was fun.
I did like the fart bugs.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I just want to double back to Pandora's box, just because, just in context, I don't know if this will support your claim or not. But so they open Pandora's box. Pandora opens her box after all these many days of not opening it or whatever, and all the terrible things, disease, pestilence, anger, hate, all come out of it. And then the worst thing that comes out is hope, but not necessarily because it's a bad thing, but because the people of the world will endure all of these terrible things, but then still have hope that the next day there will be a better day.
That's what it. Yeah.
So I was just because I think that it still sort of supports your thing, but hope is not a bad thing. The hope, it's kind of like the knife in the back.
Yeah.
Of the thing.
Yeah.
I
just like the idea of a word that has a positive connotation, but not necessarily being a good thing.
Yeah.
Sort of like just how trust can be not a great thing if you trust blindly.
Yeah.
I trusted you. I was trying to. I have the Obi-Wan Anakin fight in my head.
You're my brother, Anakin.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Well, from my point of view,
I hate you.
I hate you.
I love it. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh man,
he killed the Yinglings.
Oh, you know what? One thing I would have liked to see in this movie was, I know that Namari was essentially the antagonist for most of the movie, but the Droon, I would have liked it to have some sort of face. Instead, it was just purple blobs rolling all over the place, which it looked cool.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen like an evil dragon face or some sort of face on the evil entity.
I think they personified it so good at the scene where when the crystal broke.
Yeah.
When the crystal broke, the dread was actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
The music and the scene and like this is the beginning of the end and everyone's dying. Like the dread was fucking awesome there, and it doesn't really stick too well because water and the crystals keep them away.
Yeah.
And they have that all the way up until the very end when Sisu gets shot. She gets shot. That sounds so funny to say.
Yeah.
And she dies, and the water goes away. So then that they don't have that to hold back. But that moment of dread isn't. It's still heavy, but it's just like, I mean, it's gonna be okay. And obviously, you know things are gonna be okay at the beginning of the movie, but at that time in the movie, you don't know how bad things will get or blah blah blah. So it hits different at the beginning. But the point I'm trying to make is that dread was so good, and if they found a way to keep that, to carry it through, I think that would have been good, and maybe have satiated what you were looking for.
Yeah, because I agree with you, Christian. It's like, it definitely is like, because obviously the whole point of this is that it's the conflict between the humans that's the more important thing. But I do think, because I feel like also in general they've sort of gotten away from.
I think they personified distrust.
Yeah,
is essentially.
Yeah, they just, but it's just, I don't know. They just kind of seem like, I don't know. They seem less important, even as important as they are. It seems less, I don't know.
Of a threat?
Yeah, it seems like less of a threat because it is like, there's never a moment where we're in doubt that they'll actually they'll figure it out. You know? And the fact that there are some people, like there's this whole city, because they're surrounded by water. I figured it out. Hold on. But wait a second. Never mind. I'm thinking, because it's like there's water everywhere. How do they spring up? Why don't they just spring up in the city? Is it because they have the gems so they have hope?
Wait, what are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying it's like, where do they originate from?
The Droon?
Yeah. Because
I think they're just a manifestation of the distrust and the collapse of human.
Yeah.
The come and draw, whatever.
So I guess
I think they exist as a metaphor.
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
but
why
in the
couldn't
world,
they just spring up in the middle of us.
I don't mean
exactly.
Wait, spring up what?
Why can't they spring up in the middle of this island?
Yeah.
Is it because they?
I think they have physical forms. I think once they come to.
Yeah, but once they come to, is it just because there's no mistrust or sadness on the island?
I don't know, but I mean,
I'm poking holes in this.
I have a big hole.
Okay.
Break the fucking bridge.
Yeah.
The one-way small-ass bridge onto the heart.
Yeah.
Have us fail safe. If the Droon get out, boom, they're trapped
But
there.
see, the Droon show up on the island.
Yeah, so I'm saying if they
That's what I'm saying. Why don't they show up on this island?
Well, I think they just showed up where the last battle, I think they were all there. I think is what's implied. And then they, I think that was the point where they spread out.
I'm being sassy with it.
So, no, well, even then, with that, my understanding of it that way, if they blow up the bridge or have some failsafe, then the Droon can't get off of that bridge. And then there's really no problem. The heartland is fucked, but
yeah,
they're contained.
It's like, oops, sorry about it. I think too, it's interesting that they have. I feel like Disney has gotten away from having, like, they have evil, or they have the bad guys, but as I remember, I watched Frozen 2, and it was kind of like
Frozen 2 didn't have a bad guy. It had like,
but it was
you're
like
my mom's
disease.
friend.
Yeah,
it was like a disease, and it was like, you're my mom's friend, but now you actually aren't friends.
But see, that's the same thing in this, where it's like the problem is actually the disease of mistrust.
Yeah,
you know, and the Droon are a product of that, and I feel like that's sort of something that they've been doing a bunch, is they're getting away from having, you know, the Gaston, who's just like a bad dude, who's also a part of it. You know, and it's like, you know, the Beast and the Belle have their own thing, but Gaston is also just a bad dude.
I mean, who was the villain in Moana?
Nobody. It was her sadness or something like that.
Yeah.
They're trying to show that everybody's redeemable. There aren't bad guys in real life, kids.
Well, DreamWorks is hanging on to that, and they're still fun.
Yeah.
Remember the bad guys in How to Train Your Dragon? If it was the second or third one, he like had chapped lips, like it was a conscious choice to animate this guy with chapped lips.
It's been a second. I haven't seen.
Those movies are good.
I liked the first one a lot.
Yeah, I saw the first one in theaters.
I did too.
It was great.
I watched that, Hot Tub Time Machine, and Clash of the Titans all in one day. It was for my brother's birthday.
Sounds like a sick day.
It was a pretty sick day.
Nice.
Clash of the Titans did not live up to its trailer. That has like, I'll stand by it. It's like that had a fucking banging trailer.
Yeah, with
Sam Worthington.
Sam
I think that was the beginning of like. I think that might have been one of the first post 300 movies where it's like, we're gonna get all these kind of cool things.
Yeah.
Hell
Dude,
yeah,
and
because 300 was, and then none of it lived up to 300.
I love Greek mythology so much, but I was not a huge fan of that movie. I do remember the trailer. The music used, I think it was "Sweet Dreams" by Marilyn Manson.
Well, and they
It was
also
a dope ass trailer.
And then they also had like that scorpion thing that like slammed on the beats. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's so funny to me because, you know, they always try and do Greek mythology and then like sort of sanitize it.
Yeah,
but like
it's dark.
the whole point of the Greek mythology is that the gods are essentially like humans, but like all the worst or best parts of humans, and simultaneously, because you'll have like some Greek myths that are like, yeah, Apollo like totally eviscerated this dude because he beat him at this one tabletop game.
Yep.
And then you'll have one where it's like, yeah, Apollo gave this young boy his legs back, and it's like, nice. They serve both purposes.
Yeah, Zeus is one of the most obscene sexual predators of all time.
This is true.
But yeah, I love that about Greek mythology because it's a reflection of humanity. But like you just said, the good things and the bad.
Yeah.
But
they always want to make it like all or nothing.
going back to this movie, it does make me want to look up more of the mythology and stuff, like the inspirations that were taken for this movie of Southeast Asia. I love mythology, dude. Mythology's great stuff. It's good stuff.
I just can't get over how much it's just Aquafina.
Yeah, especially when she's human.
Like she definitely sticks out from the crowd in terms of character.
Because it's just Aquafina. The dad too. It's more, is very human.
Yeah, he
almost looks too human to me.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even because it stylistically fits in the Aquafina character. It's just that it has Aquafina's facial quirks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then it takes you out of it, like the angled lip thing that she does.
Yeah.
Even the dragon version of her looks like Aquafina still.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. God, I love Con Baby so much. You know, Con Baby is voiced by Vin Diesel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Should have been.
Kidding.
I hope it should have been.
Oh man.
I wonder who
Come, baby. Come, baby.
So.
Oh, you said Con Baby.
Con Baby.
In the beginning, you said Con Baby. I thought you said something else. I thought you said Con Baby.
Oh.
And I was like,
no, I said Con
I was like,
Baby.
weird. Okay.
At the beginning of this?
Yeah.
No,
Some-
it is
Con
titled.
Baby.
It is
No, I
Con
know,
Baby.
I know.
I'm
I put it together, but when you said I'm Christian Ames and I'm Cum Baby, and I was like, okay, yeah.
Oh my god.
But now you're saying Con Baby.
That means somebody else is gonna think I said I'm Cum Baby.
Well, I'm glad that we have we've cleared it up for that person, who was also me, who was just me in that moment.
To be fair, we all start that way.
We
so.
do all start that way.
Well,
So what have you been watching?
what did you guys give it?
Um,
I'll give it 3.5 shards of. I only have 3.5 pieces.
Okay, yeah.
3.5 of 5 pieces of the.
so each of us get a
crystal.
shard. Each of us get a shard, and
To
then we
allocate a total review? No, it's too confusing. I got 3.5 crossbow bolts to the leg of people.
No, like you have
Review.
enough shards to give each one of us a shard. The three of us.
Yes, but I keep a half. So I have
You
one
keep
and
a
half.
half. That's fine.
I give it 3.5 out of 5 for all the reasons stated. I did give it a 4 after initial viewing, but after this discussion and marinating on it and thinking about it, 3.5.
Okay.
I will say, Raya's silhouette is sick.
It's fucking cool.
Just watching this movie again, something about just her hair. Also, the messy hair is really cool, and the way it goes over the shoulder with then the cape. It's just a really cool, and it just has such flow to it, and the sword has flow to it. It's just
The movement of everything.
Yeah.
That's why the thing that's like the fight scenes are really fucking cool.
yeah. And there's good flourish and flair, but seems pretty like functional and also kind of heavy too.
Yeah. I will give it 3 bowls of shrimp congee.
Oh damn it! I was gonna say out of what? Out of how many?
5. 5.5.
Okay.
3 out of 5.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6 bowls of that delicious looking stew out of 10. I thought it was good, but
yeah.
I was just, I mean, it was just, I would never watch this again, and I would never watch it on my own. But for what it was very good.
I'd watch it again to
so-
look at it.
Yeah. the animation, which
it's
we
fun-
didn't
it's
talk.
fun to look at.
The depth of field and stuff, like it's an actual camera, is really cool. Like it's just, the close-up shots of the dad talking in the beginning were just
Yeah.
like gorgeous to look at. But yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. Watch it with your kids. You know, we can't really go to the theater these days, which sucks. I was just thinking the other day how much I miss the movies. I just miss going to the movies.
Yeah, I
so
was
much.
rewatching Blade Runner 2049, and
That's
I was
a
like,
gorgeous movie.
man, because I saw that in theaters, and I was like, oh, yeah, I wish I could have seen this again. I was like, man, it made me think about it again.
I watched that movie just at home like last year, and I remember thinking I wish I could have seen this in theaters because the cinematography is
so fucking
Yeah,
good.
there's some movies you just need to. You should. Should is the word.
Yeah. This, yeah, I mean, it does look really good. I'm trying to think about if I would watch it again for any reason.
I'd watch it with kids. If I had kids, I'd watch it with my kids, I'm sure, at some point.
I think I would watch Coco before I would watch this movie again.
So just specific one movie out of the last 10
because
years.
Coco is Coco is, again, is sort of that same, it hits the formula really good and it does it the best way, but I don't know.
I would say Soul and Coco have a formula that they are more parallel than this and Coco.
Yeah, that's true. Now I got to rank them whether or not I would rewatch them. Like, I have to do that in my brain. I think I would rewatch Soul just because the animation style, and that like relates more personally to me.
And it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
I think this is more kids movie.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. And maybe that's the subtle distinguishing thing too between Pixar and Disney animation.
Well,
obviously Pixar is also meant for kids, but I think Pixar is meant for people too, to a greater extent.
Not just kids who are not people.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, kids are people, but adults aren't kids. But adults and kids are people.
Yes.
But what are you guys watching?
I've been watching, obviously I said, what did I just say that I watched?
Blade Runner
2049. I watched Mystic Pizza with Julia Roberts, 1988, with Vincent D'Onofrio's in it. It's really fucking interesting.
Is he skinny or fat?
He is skinny. He is fucking looks good.
Yeah.
And I had to look.
Dude.
I had to look it up because he shot Full Metal Jacket. He shot Full Metal Jacket, gained all that weight, and then shot Mystic Pizza, and he had lost weight. He's like looking. I was like, damn, dude. All right.
He's just doing it.
He Christian Baled it.
He did Christian Bale it. That dude went hard.
I watched Goblet of Fire. I'm keeping up my audiobook Harry Potter.
Nice.
To then watching the movie. It's a very slow pace, obviously.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I think I read to some capacity up till Prisoner of Azkaban. So when I got to Goblet of Fire, it was all new territory in terms of the book. And it was good. The reading the book was good, and it's fun to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And Robert Pattinson steals it. I don't know. I'm like,
This
this morning I just went on Robert Pattinson's discography and added like all the interesting movies I hadn't seen. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on a
Have
little
you seen
kick.
Good Times yet?
No.
Or Good Time?
I have that added. I pretty much added everything that looked good that wasn't Twilight.
I mean, it's almost interesting to go back and watch Twilight now, just because it's like
I mean, we could do that.
he fucking hated it.
It's and he's such a good actor, and that movie is so bad it's entertaining. I just watched the other day New Mutants.
Okay.
I just was watching it while I worked out, just because I felt like watching. I had seen Wolverine on TV or Logan recently, so I felt like getting another Marvel kick, and I had never seen New Mutants, and it wasn't that good. But I mean, it had the girl from The Witch, Anya Joy-Taylor, who she's a good actor. I liked her. The girl who plays Arya in
Maisie Williams.
Maisie Williams was in it. It was, I mean, for what it was, if you're looking for another like X-Men in like esque movie, it's okay. But yeah, watch that.
Where is that? Is that on Disney Plus yet?
I think I saw it I don't know. I don't think so. I think I watched it. I think I rented it on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which, if it is on Disney Plus, I'm an idiot. So, but that's not new.
You're an idiot. Or just always, whenever idiot, I always think of the Grinch.
Yeah.
He calls himself an idiot. Or
I'm an idiot.
You're an idiot.
Yeah.
Well, what do they say? And
There's
in
no
Dragonland?
reviews.
But what do they say in Dragonland? Oh well.
Oh, yeah,
Thank
what
you
do
guys
they
for
s-
watching.
Kumandra.
And Kumandra.
What are they? What as they say in Oh yeah.
Be
This
sure
is what
to
we're
check us
supposed to
out
do.
on places.
Yeah, hit us up on Twitter at Stinky Podcast. The dismount. We'll pick it back up. We'll get it back together. We'll get it tight again.
Yeah.
But hit us up on Twitter at Stinky Podcast and tell us how to make your best shrimp congee. What is the soup? What is that stew that they're making? I think it's some sort of tom kha gai soup, but there's no coconut milk in it. What do you think? What did you think that Christian said at the beginning of this? Did he say con baby or did he say something else? And we love you. And as they say in Kumandra, trust.
Honesty.
Pepperoni pizza.